to the Aleutians. The first island chain is important because from the point of view of those who are not exactly allies of China, they would like to keep China within the first island chain here in the South China Sea, prevent it from breaking out and projecting its naval and sea power, naval and air power outside. On the other hand, the objective of China is to break out so that they'll be able to go out and have a bigger control of the Pacific Ocean, the so-called Western Pacific, and go to the second island chain, which is very close to Guam. If that happens, then China will have a bigger control of the Pacific area up to the Western Pacific and probably put the Philippines within China's sphere, put Taiwan within Taiwan's China's sphere, as well as Japan. If they succeed in breaking out from the first island chain into the second island chain. So what we have a situation here is a conflict. The US and allies would like to keep China within the first island chain. China would like to break out, and that's why they are really accelerating the development of both their air power and sea power. In the case of the US, it's the other way around. Both the US and allied Japan are beefing up their forces also to prevent South China from breaking out. We are very fortunate that the US last year donated to us under their excess defense article arrangement a survey ship. Ito yung dating Melville, not exactly new but still very useful. Now the BRP Gregorio Velasquez, barko ng Republika ng Pilipinas, Gregorio Velasquez, and I understand that this is now starting to operated by the Philippine Navy, so that on our own we can conduct our own survey of Benham Rise, which is very important to us. We have to know what's there from the military point of view, naval point of view, as well as from the natural resources point of view. At the same time, I understand that it took the Philippine government about 100 million pesos worth of investment in order to file a claim for Benham Rise. We filed our claim for Benham Rise April 2009, and in 3 years' time, April 12, 2012, we won Benham Rise. National interest demands that we...
Whose decision was that?
By the United Nations. Now, this is Benham Rise, I understand from Secretary Pae, is very rich in fish. Dahil sa napakaganda ng lugar niya, patong-patong daw yung corals dyan. Kaya pati yung mga taga-Bicol dyan nangingisda. Kaya yan, talagang nagkaka-interest ng China because China is starting to have food problems. Ito yung UN Convent, ito si Secretary Lorenzana, no, when he made that announcement March 24. We're also very lucky, nagpadala na tayo ng Del Pilar, Alcaraz pala, andyan na nagpapatrolya na sa Benham Rise, and that Alcaraz came from the original Coast Guard cutter from the US Coast Guard, US government. Yesterday, I went to Real, port of Real in Quezon. This is Quezon. The Benham Rise is so big that its northern area is in the Isabela, Aurora, but then its southern tip is also in front of Quezon in the Real area. Kaya sabi ko, Real is an area which can be considered for a possible beefed-up naval station where Coast Guard ships and Navy ships can be based so that they can conduct continuous patrol in Benham Rise. Ito, I was there yesterday. Ito. We also are very lucky that meron tayong nakuhang, next time ilagay natin dito yung aeroplano na leased to us by Japan. Meron talagang tayong dalawang aeroplano na dumating Five of them actually on a lease basis from Japan. Pero actually, lease yun, pero it's practically free because $2,000 a year ang lease rate dito, kaya napakamura. Practically a donation. Now, it can be used to patrol the West Philippine Sea as well as the Pacific area, the eastern seaboard of the Philippines, particularly Benamray. It's Beechcraft type, but capable of conducting surveillance. Yeah, surveillance. Now, the other side is Scarborough. Kasi habang pinag-uusapan natin yung Benham Rise, pumutok na naman yung Scarborough, no? And the reason for the Scarborough Shoal going back in the news is the report that China was going to build they call it an environmental monitoring station. Ito yung original ng sa Mischief Reef muna, no? And then as Mischief Reef. Kasi ito Scarborough, very strategic. It is so strategic that even a senator, this is a picture provided by a U.S. senator. They're monitoring the Scarborough Shoal situation, that the U.S. Senate is really monitoring this. They have their own map of how strategically significant Scarborough Shoal is. May balita kasi na magtatayo daw ng environmental monitoring station ng China doon. And initially, they immediately denied this. But my position there is that we should not believe the denial of China. They've done this in the past. They denied that they're going to build up Mischief Reef. And now we have a huge military facility in Mischief Reef with a 3-kilometer runway that can accommodate all the aircraft of China, plus all kinds of maybe about 200 hectares of facility there. They denied that they're interested in Scarborough Shoal in 2012. They seized Scarborough Shoal. They assured us that they would withdraw from Scarborough Shoal, but they did not. Until now, they control Scarborough Shoal, so we should not believe that. Ito ang master.
Is our junk ship still there?
Saan?
Sa Baho?
Sa Ayungin Shoal yun.
Ayungin. Sorry, sa Ayungin.
That's Ayungin. That's between Mischief Reef and Scarborough Shoal. Ang malapit sa reed bank natin. Kaya, ito. Kaya ang situation natin in the West Philippine Sea, China controls Mischief Reef, which they seized in 1994. We have the LST, the Sierra Madre, naka-beach doon sa Ayungin Shoal that is blockaded by Chinese Coast Guard ships. They even prevent us from resupplying our troops there in the LST. They also blockade the Wreck-to-Bank, which is very close to Ayungin Shoal. Ito yung Wreck-to-Bank or reed bank, which is about 8,000 hectares big. And that area, 8,000 square kilometers, I'm sorry, that area is quite big and purportedly very rich in oil. They are preventing the Philippine government from entering into joint venture with private companies for oil exploration. And now they also they control a Scarborough Shoal. So itong Scarborough Shoal, no, this is a master plan of Scarborough Shoal. Even though they've been denying this, we have in our strategic think tank meetings that I participated in Japan and other places, ito ang lumalabas na master plan for Scarborough Shoal. They are planning a runway here, similar to the runway in Mischief Reef, a 3,000-meter runway, just like in Pirate Cross, as well as in Subi. They want to convert this into a naval harbor. Destroyers can enter here. This is a natural harbor, navigable. There is a natural channel here where ships can enter. And for the information of everybody, Scarborough Shoal is not small. It may appear like a dot in the map. But Senator Lina, this lagoon here is about 150 square kilometers, which is almost the size of Quezon City, bigger than the city of Manila. Maglalagay sila ng mga government facilities here, air defense, and then they'll even convert this into a resort area so that they can both militarize and civilianize the development of Scarborough. But right now, they're stepping back after all the noise made when they made that announcement of an environmental monitoring station. But even if it's only an environmental monitoring station, that would mean they'll set up weather radar there, possibly a Doppler radar. And the Doppler radar can detect even a bird from about 200 miles away. That is how sensitive this Doppler radar is. And if they succeed in doing that, if we allow them to do that, what will happen is they will succeed in converting this area into what they call the strategic triangle. Ito strategic triangle. Ito strategic triangle, which is the long-term plan for the South China Sea. The 3 points are the following. The first point is already operational in Woody Island in the Paracel. They have a runway there. The second point is the cluster of artificial islands, Mississippi, Pirate Cross Lake, Subi, and 4 more. That's already operational. They can already land and take off planes there. And the third point to this Scarborough Shoal. Pag nakuha nila ito, they'll be able to complete the strategic triangle and they will have a complete control of the South China Sea, which is going to be very injurious to our security as well as the security of our allies. So, yun lang po. Maraming salamat. Thank you so much.
Congressman, just to make things very, very clear, our jurisdiction, as far as Philippine sovereignty is concerned, is the West Philippine Sea, not the entire South China Sea. There's a difference.
There's a distinction because some people confuse West Philippine Sea and South China Sea. They even ask, how come you're still using South China Sea? South China Sea is the bigger sea, bound by Vietnam, Philippines, Malaysia, and China to the north. West Philippine Sea is that sea that is ours. That is our exclusive economic zone that extends up to 200 nautical miles from our shoreline. By the way, under Republic Act 9522, Scarborough Shoal is part of Philippine territory, and therefore it is the duty of the Philippine government, everybody, to make sure that we protect Scarborough Shoal as part of Philippine territory. Another part of Philippine territory is the Calayan Island Group. Ito yung mga Pag-asa, Parola, dumada sa may Spratis naman yan.
You mentioned Miss Chief Reef, Rectoban. Are they part of the
Yes,
West
within the West Philippine Sea, within our exclusive economic zone, and Mississippi Reef is about 120 nautical miles from Palawan, and the Hague ruling, the arbitral tribunal ruling, recognizes Mississippi Reef as part of the exclusive economic zone of the country. Kasi submerged ito eh. Originally, the original status, original condition is a submerged feature and therefore part of our EEZ. Rectobank is also recognized as part of our EEZ. In the case of Scarborough Shoal, the structure itself was not decided upon by the arbitral tribunal. It was left hanging because it is a protruding structure, but the tribunal said everybody can fish in that sea around Scarborough Shoal.
Okay. Benham Rice, there's a decision also of the United Nations that Benham Rice belongs to the Philippines.
When this was announced by the Philippine government in 2012 after it was awarded to us, it was announced as additional territory of the country in the amount of 13 million hectares. So it's quite big.
And how deep is the Benham Rice?
The shallowest part is about 35 meters. So pwede mag-construct ng mga doon, pwede.
35 meters.
35 meters is about a 10-story building. But the deepest part would be about maybe about 2,000 meters.
Okay. One school of thought is that even if there are international decisions by international courts, that those Mississippi, Scarborough, and Rectobank, Benham Rice, that they belong to the Philippines. One school of thought is that how come the U.S. is not coming to the aid of the Philippines when there are